Hey guys, it's Matt Faircloth from BiggerPockets.com. It's sad to say, but it's true. Just today, I broke the law for my rental property business, and I'm sorry to admit this to you guys, but I want to tell you guys the story in hopes that you guys can learn something from it too. So we have a rental property that we're fixing up. It's vacant and it's under renovation. We have been broken into so many times at that property. So it's in what you would call a D neighborhood, but that D neighborhood is very quickly transforming into a B. A lot of new construction around it, a lot of people renovating around it and everything like that. You might have seen neighborhoods like this that were really run down, not much attention, a lot of crime in them, but are very quickly transitioning to being better neighborhoods. More and more people on the street, more and more construction, more and more landlords coming in and renovating. We're one of them. So we're in this property renovating, but there's also some vacant homes around it. That's just what happens in D neighborhoods. You have abandoned properties. So there's an abandoned property right around the corner from the home that we're renovating. And we kept getting broken into, and it became evident very quickly that the people that were breaking into our property were coming from that vacant home. They were squatters. They were squatting in this vacant home. A squatter means someone who's living illegally in a vacant property and just kind of making it their house, even though it's not really their house. They're just making it there and making it home for themselves. And they were breaking into our vacant home under construction, and it kept slowing us down. It kept causing nuisance and aggravated expenses. We put an alarm system in. They found the alarm and they broke it. It was a very, very bad situation. So we, like good citizens, complained to the local town and said, hey, we've got this vacant property. There's people on this property that are breaking into my property. It's not right. And the town said, great, we'll file a complaint to Public Works and they will go out and board up the property for you. So we waited. We called up again to check, say, hey, listen, we keep getting broken into. Are you guys gonna board up that house? Says, oh yeah, we're getting complaints from the neighborhood, but we're several months behind and we're not gonna be able to do it for you for a couple more months is what it's gonna take them to board up the property. I also called the police department. The police department said, well, unless we find out that unless we catch them in the act, or unless we find people actually breaking the law, and of course when they went to the house, there was nobody in the vacant property, so they weren't able to do anything. And they've got, let's say, bigger fish to fry than people that are living in a vacant property breaking into our construction site. So we didn't get much out of the police either. What I could have just waited until the town came out to board up the property. And that maybe is what some of you guys would have done. But we're on a timeline, and there's a lot of other people around the property that are complaining, and I'm losing money by continuing to have to go back and redo the work that gets undone every time these folks break in. So what did I do? I decided to take matters into my own hands. And I'm not advising you guys to do this necessarily, but it just seemed like the right thing to do for us because there's people in the neighborhood complaining. We were complaining about it. It's, these folks are obviously in this property illegally, not supposed to be into this house. So what we decided to do is I went and found a police officer friend of mine, and I went and got one of our contractors, and we went over to the property. The police officer just kind of held security just to make sure that everybody's safe and there's not anybody in the property, and if there was anybody in the property, that they would be removed. We went to the house, there was nobody in there, and my contractor boarded up the house. Here's what I did that was illegal. That was not my house. I boarded up someone else's house, and we technically trespassed to board up this house. Yes, we broke the law, but what I did was a benefit to the neighborhood, to my business, and obviously to the police to keep these folks out of this house, and a benefit to the city. And I did something the city had planned on doing, but was back on their clock to do. So yes, we did it, but I had to make a calculation for my own, and obviously what would help me for my company, but also more importantly, what would help the neighborhood. And I felt like in some ways I was being a good citizen doing it. So yes, I broke the law, but I did it for the benefit of the neighborhood and of my business. Now, for you guys, the lesson learned is sometimes you're gonna take matters into your own hands, but you should always weigh these things out. I didn't approach this from emotion. This was something I calculated and thought about. I'm not saying you guys should take these things lightly. You have to make a calculated decision. I weighed out. I need to do this to benefit the neighborhood, to benefit my company, and the city is planning on doing this eventually. They just can't get around to it. Versus, I've got to do something that I'm not supposed to do to get it done. You should not come at this thing from emotion. This was a calculated decision that I made to get this done. I calculated it, I made sure there was safety involved, I made sure there was an off-duty police officer to accompany just in case there was somebody in the property so we could be safe. So I made the calculations, but I also made a business decision to break the law and to do what I needed to do to take care of this property. Again, not something you guys should take lightly if you're considering doing something like this yourself. I'm just giving you guys a glimpse to the landlording business. There will be times, especially if you're working neighborhoods, that were D neighborhoods and are on their way to C or B or just rebirthing and becoming a better neighborhood for everybody, including the people that already live there, there may be times where you might have to take matters into your own hands because the town might be overwhelmed with dealing with larger issues than people living in a vacant property. This is a glimpse inside of landlording, and sometimes you got to do whatever it takes to advance your business, including in this case, technically doing a little bit of trespassing and working on somebody else's house that isn't mine. We did what we did. Hope you guys forgive me. If you like this video or if you like what BiggerPockets has to say, please like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel. BiggerPockets has a ton of information that's out there for you guys to like and learn from. So check it out and be sure you do that so you can hear more about what we're up to. This is Matt Faircloth for BiggerPockets.com, and have a great and profitable week.